Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. All right, so who do we got coming in? Austin, you are the first person in the door, followed by Aaron. How you doing? Welcome to the Local Marketing Institute Q&A Live with your host, myself, Ben Fisher of Steady Demand, which you can find me on Blue Sky. I'm on X every once in a while, but hey, I try not to make a habit out of it. And I am joined today not by Greg Gifford, but I am joined today with the illustrious David Hunter. Do you mind if I call you Dave or David? Which do you
Either
prefer?
either is either's fine. I think Dave
Okay.
works. It's probably easier.
I was going to say David is like a little bit too
It's too formal.
it's
I'll
too
write
formal.
I write out David, I'll type it out that way, but otherwise like it's just Dave.
There you go. So Dave is joining us, and Dave, if you don't know Dave, you should know Dave, and you probably have run into what Dave has created. It's a little too known tool in our industry called Local Falcon. Jan is usually with us actually here in the comments. He is not today, but we are joined by Dave, the CEO of Local Falcon. So I want you all to absolutely put in questions into the Q&A widget, please, about anything you would like to ask about Local Falcon. We're going to be going over some really cool shiznit that's happening here actually with Local Falcon here as well very shortly. So just a couple shout outs before we get started. All right. Mark, hey, I see you're here. Greg, I think I've seen you before. Susan, how's it going? All right. Steven, how you doing, buddy? Dre, good to see you. Donna, how's it going? Hey, Deepa, joining us for as well. Deepa's a fellow product expert. And let's see, we got Paul. Paul Lamplin's here. How's it doing, Paul? Excellent. Cool. People are still coming in. And of course, Chad has his Fireflies note checker. All right. Which is totally fine. We have a lot of stuff that we talk about here. So everybody, how's it going? Everyone, please, just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. Greg is not with us today. He will be here with us in 2 weeks. It's Greg's birthday. So make sure you go and hit him up on X, Twitter, whatever, or Blue Sky.
Happy birthday, Greg.
Exactly right. So, all right. So we're just going to get started. David, before we get into the news and stuff like that, let's go ahead and let's just have you tell everybody a little bit about yourself. How'd you get into this freaky industry in the first place?
Sure. So, it's been a long time. I've been kind of hanging around the local SEO space. 17 years ago, I started a digital marketing agency, website development, SEO, digital marketing. It's called Epic Web Studios. We're in the Great Lakes region in Northwest Pennsylvania. It's called Erie, Pennsylvania, right on the shores of Lake Erie. And if you guys have not seen a Great Lake before, they do live up to the term great. They're massive. Most folks come there and think it looks like the ocean or the Mediterranean. It's pretty cool. So we like it here. I was born and raised. I moved away, came back. And when I came back, I was looking around in the marketplace and realizing that there's just not a lot of options in terms of, website development and digital marketing. And so we started the agency and have been growing ever since then. We would realize that, and I'm not a coder, I'm not a programmer. And so I needed to contribute in some other way beyond just the sales. And so I really dug in, and, this is now 2008, 2009. I dug in and started to learn quite a lot, as much as I possibly could around SEO and local SEO. And so, that's really where, I wanted to be able to participate and offer more value. And so, we spent quite a bit of time. I spent a ton of time sort of learning and practicing that. And, from there, it was around 2015 when we started to notice that the local pack was at the time the 10 pack, and that became the 3 pack, and schema rolls out, and all of a sudden local is far more important than it had ever been. And so, we really started to dive in and take a much deeper focus on it. And that's around that time is when I met Jan, and, very shortly after that, a year or two after that, he, Local Falcon rolls out, and we haven't really looked back since then.
Right on,
That's
right
my
on.
abridged version. I can give you the 2 hour version if you guys want, but it's
And
too
you were,
much.
I think if I remember correctly, you were one of the first companies to actually do the geogrid reporting in the
We
first place.
if you ask Bright Local said that we were the OGs or the inventors of a GeoGrid at one point, and I think that's true. I ran with it. We invented the concept for sure.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, man, okay. Well, you need to definitely get that out more, man. That has to come into your AI overview. That's all I'm just saying.
Right. That's right.
And
I need
so
somebody to write a Wikipedia for us is what I need.
there you go.
There
There
you
you go.
go.
Actually, there's other ways you could do it. But
It's true.
if you, one thing I would love to for you to tell everybody about, because I want to learn more about it too, by the way. Right. So I was just telling everyone in the chat, it's like I'm an avid user of Local Falcon. And by the way, everybody, we are getting to the news and stuff like that. Don't worry. We just want to do a quick intro. And no, this is not paid for. This is just me inviting David to come on, talk to y'all.
That's right.
Um, and so anyway, so yeah, so talk about a little bit about that. I mean, the AI overview feature that you now have, and I think you also have a scan with ChatGPT.
We do. Yeah.
Was just recently rolled out to everybody, right? It's a little
That's
bit
right.
clunky.
It is. Yeah.
A little
We
bit.
put a nice beta tag on there for a reason, right?
Right.
It works absolutely. It's not as it's not very fast. It takes a lot of time because there is just a ton of data that you get back every time you run one of those scans. But
Absolutely,
we
actually.
wanted something with a local focus to it, so that's why we built built it.
Yeah. I mean, I tried it out with a financial planner.
Okay.
And I literally just put in financial planner, and it was able to pull that company up in results actually in the AI overview. So I'm like, oh wow, okay, so they're ranking into AI overviews here, 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 and here. No real direction as to which to go on that yet, as far as optimizing, but it did bring it in. And
Cool.
I think the challenge of any of these tools that are out there is figuring out what all these long tail queries are.
Right.
And figuring out, if you have actually been brought up in the middle of, say, a voice conversation or something of that nature, right? Those things, it seems to me like it's almost impossible to actually track those. But what do you think? You think we'll actually be able to crack that nut sooner or later?
Well, so it's you can track it. It's just that I don't know how valuable it's going to be because of the way the answers change, right? And so it's interesting. You put in financial planner and it came back with a response. If you had done that so we launched this at the beginning of May. If you had done it then, I don't think you would have gotten any results at
No.
all. And in the last like month, 2 weeks even, it's really seemed to have skyrocketed. In fact, I think I saw Andrew Shotland was putting something up. I don't know how familiar you folks are with the term the crocodile effect, right? Where you're getting all these other impressions, but your clicks have gone down, and you can see this divergence in your analytics, and that's generally due to AI overviews giving you a lot of impressions, but not a lot of clicks, right? That he put something up just the other day about this, maybe even yesterday, saying that he's noticing it with his local queries. And I anecdotally, I don't have like hard data on it, but I've definitely noticed it in the reports, as people are using it. And I initially thought, well, people must just be searching better terms, using long tail as opposed to not. And then I went and looked and like, nope, people are still just putting in things like pizza near me. And trying to get results out of it, but it's actually producing a response, which is kind of crazy. So I see the prevalence has definitely gone way up and continues to do so. So can you track that? You can, and it's just that, like I said, the responses are different. So we're really not even, we're sort of downplaying the term ranking when it comes to AI overviews and ChatGPT.
I think as well you should. I agree.
Yeah, it's not really a ranking. It's more of a mention, and it's like visibility in there. And so, the big value that we're finding is that One, you can find out if you're being mentioned or not at all. And two, we also provide you with the source information there. So you can see all the different URLs that were used to compile that answer, which has been really eye-opening. I mean, I was looking at this on the just for the, we still have the agency, Epic Web Studios. And so that's always sort of my go-to, test case, or frequently is. And, it's a local brand. And so it's, definitely got, got a GBP. So it's good to test with. And even with that, even on that, I'm finding, who are the digital marketing agencies in Erie, Pennsylvania, stuff like that. It was citing some directories that I've never even heard of before, finding these sources that I didn't even know existed. And that was incredibly eye-opening to me, because it's an easy win. Just go claim your listing on that directory, or make a listing and claim it. And so it was like, well, this is definitely low-hanging fruit. And the more we do it, the more I realize, it does pull a lot of the same source material each time, but it frequently finds new things. We're talking every day, and it's finding stuff like Instagram posts and TikTok videos. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's interesting. Because I've been doing an experiment with a brand name and the word reviews, plural.
Yes.
And what you'll see is it appears like it's looking at review schema on your website, number one, right? I'm seeing that a lot, actually. And even on content like that's on your about page, like, about David Hunter, if you put review schema around that, it'll bring it into the AI overview.
Interesting.
It's weird. It doesn't seem like it should work, but it does. Of course, Reddit, a lot. Top 10 aggregators, a lot. Or directories, I should say. And what's interesting, though, is it's actually Glassdoor. Didn't expect this, but Glassdoor information coming in as well. But what I always find amazing and interesting about AI is just how messed up it can be. And it can conflate information amazingly horribly, actually.
Yeah. Yes, it can.
I saw this one Reddit thread where it basically was talking about it. The thread starts out as, this XYZ company is a scam company. Anybody else have this experience, right? And then somebody else goes in behind it and talks about a company they should deal with. And then another user comes in and says, yeah, they're a great company. You should use them. And at the end, somebody leaves a comment saying, oh, yeah, well, this company that you're talking about here, the first one, is a scam. Well, guess what? AI brought all of that together and said, the one that you were recommending is a scam company.
Oh, that's painful. That's painful.
It's very painful.
There is a Local Falcon post very similar to what you're talking about, too. Someone was asking about a scam tracker that was not ours. And then someone said, well, you need to try Local Falcon instead. And I am deathly afraid that it's going to pull those two together. Yes. Yeah. I haven't seen it yet. No, you can't. And I haven't seen it yet, but gosh, who knows? Maybe the right query and it might show up, and that's terrifying.
We should take a look. Local Falcon reviews.
Yes.
But anyway, so it's very interesting. It's good to see that you guys are ahead of this and part of this curve, and it'll be even more interesting, of course, as we see how it kind of develops in the future.
Well, like everyone, I don't even think we've got a choice, right? Like, I want to keep the system alive and growing and valuable, useful. So we don't have a choice but to do this. Much like everyone here, we're being forced into this reality of like, well, you think SEO, but now it's a lot of the same principles, yes, but very different.
Yeah, I've seen this so many times over the past 30 years, so I don't blink at it anymore. So.
Right. It does feel different than some of the other ones, I will say.
Feels like Panda.
It does. I get that. I hear that for sure. But Panda wasn't doing like what you're talking about, where it's like all of a sudden it's just mashing everything together and giving you this gobbledygook as responses. So
yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll get cleaned up eventually.
It will. I have faith in that.
I have faith in it too. Absolutely. Unless so, everybody, just one little quick housekeeping thing before we get into news and all the other questions and such. Please open the Q&A widget and ask any kind of question that you have, whether it be a ranking question. You've got somebody here who deals with ranking on a daily basis, or it might be something about Google Business Profile suspensions or whatever it is. If you want to get roasted, you can put that in there too. Happy to roast you. Or a competitor even. But anyway, yeah, please add them to the Q&A. And with that, we are going to get rocking and rolling. So what we're doing, David, right now is we're just going to go over some news items, some things that have happened over the past couple of weeks that may or may not be interesting. And if you have any thoughts on them, please share your thoughts. All right. So this is a fun little feature that came up, has been discovered. And actually, oops, sorry about that. I gave you like half of the URL there. I guess let me give you the full URL. So basically, all this is right now restaurants and hotels, I believe, or bars. I'm sorry, restaurants and bars, which are closely aligned anyway, now are getting this ability to add these kind of post events, basically, or offers they have. Now, I know you're going, oh, well, Ben, don't we already have this capability with Google Business Profile posts? Well, the answer is yes. But if you look at this, look at the position of these. These are up super high on the knowledge panel. They also function a lot differently too. And on the back end, they function almost completely differently. So it's really neat. If you have a restaurant and a bar, absolutely take advantage of it. If you have a friend who has a restaurant and a bar, you should probably check it out if you're an agency. Get ready for it, because my gut tells me this is going to come to more Google Business Profiles beyond just restaurants and bars, because it's extremely useful. Next thing really is, and this is kind of an interesting one, is somebody was able to get Claude to spit out an entire guide, Cyrus Shepard reporting, about getting a link and how you can actually become a citation inside of Claude. So I think that is pretty neat, all just in itself. The next thing is that let's see. And again, David, if you have anything to say about these things, feel free to interject.
Yeah. I did see this this update from Cyrus. This was definitely interesting, and I think that I wonder if it's something that isn't more relevant. Is this actually going to work in mass for people, or is it something that's going to work in a more personalized sense for someone, right? So I don't know the answer to that. I mean, like, it's basically like, is it content that's, unique? I mean, I guess I don't know.
I think it's like anything, right? It's like somebody's trying to really try and figure out how to get these citations. And this kind of gives you a direction to walk in, right? And now we'll actually see if it works or not. The problem I think will come down is to, as soon as it does work, people are going to game the hell
exploit
out of it.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Short-term gain, is going to be all over the place. And then they're going to have to change the model. And
which I think we've seen some of already too. I mean, just a couple of months ago, there was this idea of prompt injections on web pages, use like white text, like old school style, where people would put keywords in. Very similar concept, but I think even that is now failing. I mean, I'm sure it's still kind of getting through in some places, but I think at scale, though, I think they've shut that off. And, this is the same type of idea, right? It was, they essentially, I think this came from like a system prompt thing, right? And so somebody basically figured that out, that there was a system prompt from Claude, and then how they can game it. So that's it's like, okay, well, they're going to change that prompt then, and this is going to die.
Exactly. It's interesting though, because theoretically it does make sense.
It makes sense, yeah.
But hey, what can you do? All right. The next thing we have is still on this whole AI kick. I'm just telling you, man, this whole episode is just about AI. And so this is interesting, right? I mean, joyous setting basically here is like, with AIOs coming out even more and more on Google, which they have, like you said, over the past couple of weeks. Now we're starting to see a decline in local 3-pack search, basically. Whereas I don't think it is a decline. I think it's like you said, is kind of like the crocodile effect.
Yeah. In fact, if you look at the screenshot, she's got it right there. Right where her arrow starts is where the crocodile starts.
Yep, exactly.
And so people are very worried about this because their traffic has gone down, and rightfully so. I totally get that. Google's answer to this has been, well, the traffic that you do get is better quality. And a lot of people don't like hearing that. But I don't necessarily disagree, because if I'm in AIOs looking, talking about an attorney, finding an attorney, by the time I actually, have settled upon one, after my conversation, in theory, like I know exactly what I want at this point. I'm here to hire you, and you get less, you basically going to have, longer dwell times on pages would be a good way to kind of prove that, and then just the conversions. So, it does suck to lose traffic though. So I don't know. It remains to be seen what will come out of that. But I do think that there's potentially some silver lining, at least. I mean, I'm an optimist, so I want it to work.
I think that a lot of SEO agencies are going to get fired.
Yes.
Simply because
for the wrong reasons too.
Exactly right. Because a lot of, the companies, the merchants themselves, our clients, are going to look at it and go, well, we have been judging you based on ranking for 20 years, whatever, right? Yep. And we have been judging you based on traffic, as well. And then we look at the conversions of that, and all of a sudden now our traffic is down and our conversions are down. Yeah, but your phone calls are up.
Best thing I can say to that is, if you're an agency, you got to get ahead of this. All right, you got to get ahead of this, and break the bad news to them. Don't let them find out about it.
Yeah, even us, it's like with steady demand. I mean, again, we do use Local Falcon, and we're going to integrate some of your AI stuff actually into our reports. But it's like, even what we do is we are absolutely educating our customers. And we're saying, look, you need to look at these types of metrics. You need to look at things this way, and so, it's all about education and getting ahead of it and talking to your customers and getting them to understand, hey, look, sorry, what you've been taught over the past 15, 20, 30 years is now all of a sudden out the window.
Yes.
And what I like to do is I like to give people a story. From when I was in Alaska and I was looking for the specific pizza place that I had been and visited before. And I used ChatGPT to discover this place, because I had to go through a laddered type of conversation, because I didn't know what the hell I was looking for. The only thing I knew is the style and about where it may be. And I was able to find the place.
I bet. Probably pretty quickly it found it.
It took about 16 questions, but
okay, maybe that quick.
It was actually kind of difficult, but nothing that Google search could have done, by the way, at all. Nothing. You could just go to Reddit and find this answer, basically. Right. And so, but what also gives me some hesitancy, and businesses should have a little bit of fear of, is that during this entire process, it was naming these different companies, local pizza places. And the last pizza place that it came up with said it was sounded pretty confident that it was it. I said, great, what's the phone number? Gave me the phone number. I called. 0-click search, basically, is what that really is, right? I'm making a transaction. I'm going to come to you. I'm going to buy your pizza, but you'll never know that this actually occurred. And that's what I think is the scary future that we all have to kind of come up and deal with, basically.
Yeah, you thought the Search Console, blank attribution stuff was bad. This is a whole new universe of black box, no doubt. There's no doubt.
Exactly. Don't even get me started on wearables.
Right. Right.
All right. So our next item coming up is just a cool little thing. I don't know if y'all heard about it, but anybody who's anybody and has been in search for a very long time knows the name We Build Pages, Internet Marketing Ninjas, and Jim Boykin. I'm proud to have known Jim over 20 years, spoken with him many times. Good friend. And he just did a merger, actually, with another company. So I think we're going to be still seeing this a lot more in our space. Acquisitions are kind of starting to happen a little bit here and there. PE firms are definitely getting involved. So this is just another thing that's like, that's so freaking awesome that that it happened to a good guy like Jim, but also for our industry, it's a good signal that, maybe people are looking at what we're all doing out here.
Yeah, that's very exciting. And I will say, I mean, being a B2B SaaS, I get inquiries from private equity almost daily. Mm-hmm. And I'm not necessarily interested in that. If we're gonna get acquired, I'm not coming with it. I'll take the system. Don't take me with you. I'll stick around for 6 months or something. But that's it, man.
There you go.
I gotta be done.
Right on.
So no private equity wants that. They need you there.
No, you have to grow because they got to flip you.
That's
basically.
Right. That's right.
A lot of people don't know that about private equity. It's like they're just buying you so they can sell you in 5 years.
Absolutely. They want to bolt you together with someone else and then turn you into a unicorn, so it's not really my jam.
Right on. Oh, come on. You don't feel like selling 3 or 4 times in a row?
Right. With stock options and clawbacks and everything else. Not my thing, man.
Right on.
We did this out of we built this thing out of need, out of like actual, we had clients that would come to us and say like, what are you talking about? I'm ranking really well. We'd tell them that, they're organically doing terrible or whatever. And then, we realized like, oh, you're talking about local pack, and sir, you're standing at your business. Like that's going to make it easy, so it was that type of conversation, or the other way around. We're not anywhere, I'm like, you're at the top of like 5 different keywords for your organics. Oh, you're talking about local once again. So it's those 2 scenarios we'd have at the agency over and over again that it became like very clear. Something else needs to exist here, so.
Yep, absolutely. By the way, I don't know if I told you. No, I haven't. Jan did end up joining us. He was about
good.
He was about 5 minutes late. What's up, Jan?
What's up, Jan? How are you, man?
We've had a couple other extra people just giving shouts out. Jackson's here. Ben Holbrook is here. Hi, Olivia. How's it going? All right, cool. Just I think we got one more little newsy type of item to go, and then we'll get into some questions. Looks like we got to get about 6 questions in the Q&A. So keep them coming. Let's get that number up to 12. All right. This one again, just another thing that happened over here on Twitter, not X, is Google basically with GBPs has been teasing and doing this whole WhatsApp integration, and they brought chat or text back, which I think is fantastic, right? Businesses want to do business by text. So that's fantastic. But now it looks like it's actually asking for the WhatsApp or SMS during verification, just creation of a new profile. I think that's pretty cool. I think it's a good move for them. Unfortunately, it leads to a lot of things, and then one of those things being suspensions. Yeah, go for it, Dave.
That's right. I was going to say, I think that you the more you enter those critical fields, the more you go messing with those, the more often your chances of being suspended are going to happen. And so there's a risk there. I also wonder too with the WhatsApp side, what's going to happen on the spam side of things, like on the abuse side, right? Because it's relatively easy to set up a WhatsApp for whatever purpose you want. So, how's that going to work?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you this from what we see in the forums, right? Is that especially places like India, and I say that because that's how this leads. So that's how we always lead off this answer with this in the forums. But a lot of India merchants will put in a mobile phone number as their main phone number. And it's for spam. It's for abuse, basically. So I think that if we haven't already started to see it, we're going to see it even more with WhatsApp numbers just causing suspensions, if they've been reported enough or they're bad, basically, in a way. So I have to agree 100%. And with that,
I also wonder what's the motivation behind that too, right? Like, why did they bring that back in? I was sort of surprised to see, they kind of quickly killed off the chat stuff, and now it's like back quietly almost. I mean, they made an announcement or whatever, but like, where's the motivation behind that? I'm always wondering what Google. Typically, the motivation is sell more ads, get more eyes, right? That's usually it. So I'm assuming it's as simple as like, well, look, we can get businesses to sign up easier if we offer it, but.
It comes down to what merchants want and what consumers want, right? And they've been doing a lot of WhatsApp integrations over the past year, a lot of different types of integrations, but they brought it back just probably because of the trending need. Really, is what it is, and maybe they also were able to somehow curb the abuse. Is really, I think, what it comes down to.
Well, they also started bringing
we'll see when they take it back.
That's right. I was going to say they also started adding Instagram posts to the index around the same time, and WhatsApp and Instagram, it's all the same company. So I wonder if maybe there was something with that, some kind of a partnership or some kind of a deal there. I don't know.
No conspiracy there.
Okay.
The social component of things is a totally separate feature. It's a separate division actually within Google GBP. These divisions, by the way, don't talk to each other very much. Yeah. So probably no. I think that was actually probably more just along the entire social push. When they push the ability to add social profiles, now you're starting to see them definitely connected to your GBP, sometimes on desktop, mostly on mobile, which is where it's supposed to live at the moment. And eventually it will come to obviously desktop as well. But unfortunately not tied together.
Just a big the timing was a coincidence. Then I mean, it's a big. Meta is a huge operation, obviously. So, and I can say for sure, like WhatsApp and Instagram, those guys they're not talking to each other very often. So
exactly. I'm going to leave this part up to the audience. We have 5 questions which were submitted over the past couple of weeks. And it doesn't look like a lot of these people are actually here today. So, audience, up to you all. We've got about 6 questions in the Q&A widget. Shall we go over the live quote and make that 7 questions in the Q&A widget? Would you like us to go over the ones that have been asked today or the ones who have been asked previously? Of course, everybody's going to say today, by the way. Sometimes every once in a while we do get people say, I'll go over the other ones, the older ones, but look at that. Everybody's going, nope, live. How
there it is.
Yeah.
You might have done this before, Ben.
No, I've never done this before. We don't engage with our audience at all. No, I'm sorry. Steven, you see Steven? He's been with us for a very, very long time. He's like, nope, old ones. Come on.
Yeah, I like it.
But unfortunately, the ones the live ones have it.
Fair enough.
No, you can't post it here, Lewis. You have to post it in the Q&A widget. Okay. All right. So, all right. You never know. All right. So we're going to start off with Donna's first. Okay. Is there a way to accept? And so, David, the way we're going to play this is I'm going to ask the question. If you've got thoughts on it, please drop your thoughts. Okay.
Sure.
If not, just let's say not. So Donna asks, is there any way to accept Google updates en masse? Google recently added social media profiles. They are accurate. Well, that's kind of new right there. If I upload a spreadsheet with the social media profiles, will that remove the updated notification? That's actually a really good question.
So I know that you can accept updates en masse when it may depend on your account type, if you have the agency dashboard or not. But there was like a little checkbox where you could select at the high level for each you'd select all the locations, and then there was a accept updates option. Um, However, that notification always seemed to be like lagging or finicky. And so I don't know if the notification will go away or not.
My thoughts on this is very simple. No, the notification won't go away. What Google has inserted and you must accept is what they want you to accept. If you upload the spreadsheet, it will actually try to overwrite it, but there's nothing to overwrite since it's exactly the same thing. However, if you try and force that, you could cause you get, the word I'm about to use, a suspension. So
Mhm.
I'd be a little bit careful with that one if I were you. Um, all right. Next question is from Dre Dre. All right. I have a customer who has an HVAC company, no brick and mortar, and has a GBP profile sending him many calls for years. Sold his house, address associated with the GBP, and brought a property 8 miles north. He was asked to do a verified video. He did twice, and then first was not accepted. It's been in pending edit mode for the last 2 weeks. His calls have dropped. His profile's moved to an adjacent city, even though his associated address is still in the original city. Is this a sin wait, or can we nudge them in any way? You have anything you want to say about this one?
Uh, Not necessarily. Is there an open ticket already? If so, I would say you could reply to that ticket. Otherwise, maybe make a ticket, but even that I get nervous about. What do you think, Ben?
Well, usually when you have a Google Business profile that's been pending edits, you see the wording here is weird because pending edits mode, that doesn't make much sense. If it's in verification status or verification needed, right? That's a verification pending mode, which is completely different than a pending edit. So I think that's straight. If you're here, if you want to, quantify that, please do. But otherwise, I'm going to say that it's probably pending verification. If it's been 2 weeks, you can reach out to support and you can ask them to kind of kick the tires a little bit. If they can't help you, that's when you will go to the community and raise this issue. I have seen this issue. Actually, it's a little bit of a trending issue with GPPs. Some people are seeing this where it is pending more than 2 weeks. Usually means it's under a manual verification, which in this case, I'm absolutely going to say this is pending a manual verification issue. So yeah, you do need to get in touch with support. All right. Okay, Lewis is letting us know that he submitted a question about direct booking links. Thank you for letting us know. Paul has a question. See, here we go. Paul Lamplin asked the same exact question. Verification after video has been paused as processing for 2 weeks. Any options? It's the same exact thing, Paul. Just go ahead and reach out to support. Yeah, okay, you get it. Good. I don't have to repeat myself. Awesome. All right, now we have an anonymous attendee. I think I know who this person is, by the way. But we have an anonymous attendee coming in and saying, you may address this in news, but updates the information that Google is no longer taking utility bills for GPPs. Yes, I know exactly who this is. Hello. So the question at hand here is this: is that I think I put this out a long time ago, but a couple weeks, whatever, about how GBP is supposedly not accepting utility bills any longer, right? And then somebody else came out and started talking about it as well. Google has not removed all of this from their documentation as of yet. And the current guidance is, hey, if you got it, use it. If you don't, okay. In other words, it's currently a body of evidence is what it is. They look at everything. So in other words, they may still be looking at it. They may not still be looking at it. If that's the only thing you have, yeah, you're probably in trouble.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the guidance actually at this point. So, okay. Lewis has a question. I've been seeing emails telling being stuck in verification increase, so you can skip it. Okay, thank you, Jackson. Okay, cool. I'm going to go ahead and kill that. Done deal. Thank you. All right. Now we got two back-to-back questions from Lewis. What's up, Lewis? How's it going, man? All right. I've been seeing emails telling us when Google Business Profile is going live. I've not seen that before and had two locations get instantly verified today. Thoughts, Dave?
Well, I'm not sure about instantly being verified, but I do know that it's like you said before, Ben, there's like sort of a collective body of evidence going on here. And so a lot of the time, I mean, what we recommend typically is that you set up other properties beforehand before you go into the Google side of it, into the GBP side. So, have your search console set up, owned, verified, have your analytics in there, get other external sites like Facebook, Yelp, etc. The more you can kind of create ahead of time before you go and put the Google listing in, the better your chances of being pretty much verified right away.
Yeah, that is actually very true. And one of the things that, if you want to look at how you know that Google is relying on sources like Yelp, like Facebook, is like if you do a search on your own business, the AI overview will come up with information if you're on Yelp or if you're on Facebook. You will absolutely get those pages. Even if we go back to that whole review test, right? Your
Yes.
business name with the word reviews, you'll see if you've got Facebook reviews, even the old ones, they still surface. As far as an email telling you when your profile is going live, yep, that's been actually up for a very, very, very long time. So that's not new. Instantly verified, by the way, just so you know, what that really means is kind of like akin to what David was talking about. That just means that Google really does trust your business a lot. So there's a lot of different reasons how that can actually happen. It's not all the time. Congratulations, you got the Willy Wonka golden ticket. Don't, we'll see if it continues to happen, basically. Okay. Existing company with two locations. Okay, that even makes even more sense, actually. All right. All right. So Lewis's next question. This is a lot. I'm so sorry. You're not, but trying to put as much info as I can. It appears that the company has a direct booking button on their GBP. Okay. I'm not going to look at it yet. I looked into it and I saw third-party options and also the option to apply for reserve and Google. And that reserve, basically, it's reserved with Google, which we did, and we were denied. From what I could tell, there was no third-party booking set up on the site. Somehow they either got accepted through this form or locations with the same service. I do not see the option to add a booking link, and I submitted a support ticket. I don't know. I don't have an answer for this one at all, actually. I'm just not familiar enough with the booking feature. From what I understand is that if you want it, if you're in the right category, then you can go ahead and select the booking option, kind of like what you were saying, from what's available, apply, and then it gets added. But other than that, I don't have much more information around that question, unfortunately.
Me either. I've reserved with Google has always been tricky. I mean, I hate to say you could potentially try to turn some LSAs on, and then all of a sudden you might get a little further with that. But
yeah,
it's a restaurant. That's not going to work, obviously. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. If you click the link, you can see the button. Yeah, I don't know. Oh man, I just don't know enough about booking, to be honest with you, at this point, Lewis. I just don't have to deal with it a lot. So the next question is coming from Luann Weller, though. What would cause a new listing to be suspended before giving the opportunity to verify it? Okay. With a couple of roofing clients, I set up a new service area business, can verify by email. Now, before I can finish setup, I get an email the listing was suspended. Yeah, there's something wrong, is what's going on. There's something really wrong. Google doesn't trust a big piece of the data, is really, I think, what it comes down to, actually, on that one.
Yeah. Hacked website, maybe spammy site, something like that.
Phone number, Bad phone numbers could be easily be it. It's probably saying deceptive content, which is a lot of different things, by the way. But like, a bad phone number, or bad website, or malware on your website, or something like that can easily cause these things to become suspended. Also, if you have a user in there, or your user is blackballed, basically, in a sense, account, what's called account restricted, then that can cause a suspension too. I would definitely look at the reasoning for the suspension and see if they can kind of give you a little bit more information. But and also the address could be toast. I've seen that happen as well.
That's right.
It's horrible to get these problems. But as usual, what I'm going to say is that, you can always reach out to support, ask them a question. And when they come back and say, I don't know, and they shrug, then you come over to the support forum and we can probably escalate it for you and at least tell you sorry, your SOL up a creek with a no paddle, or hey, try it again. One of the two. At least you'll get an answer. All right, how are we doing here? Okay, wow, we're doing pretty good. Let's see.
Ben, you got this like great announcer voice on these webinars, man. I don't know if it's the cadence or what, dude. It's good though. Like
Well,
it's
thank you.
Very smooth.
Actually, I was in my previous business. I was a sideline jockey. I guess you call it. Now, I had so much radio time in the '90s, actually, with advertisements for my first business doing local.
That's it, man. That's got to be it. You were trained on this. That's it.
Yep, I was taught how to bring out the bass intonation.
I like it. Yeah.
The bass, but yes, the podcast voice. Side note, I've been actually, it's like I've been told by a good friend of mine. They're like, "Hey, you should start doing ASMR stuff." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Just go on YouTube and start reading a book. You'll put people to sleep with that voice."
It's a side hustle you didn't even know was possible. Exactly. Just gonna get on there and just like scratch some wood,
The big one right now is like the glass. It's like turning anything into glass and then cutting it. You
Yes.
ever see those AI videos? All right. Let's see. We got another question from Lewis. All right, Lewis, you are on fire today.
Is related to that same booking
oh
option.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, sorry, I'm not gonna have an answer for it, so sorry about that. All right, and that's it for that. Okay, let's get that one done. That's out of here now too. Boom. All right, we got through all of our questions. Amazing. So let's go ahead and we got about 12 minutes to go. So we'll just look at some of these questions that we have that were submitted. And let's see. All right. This one's from John. All right, John Pino. How you doing, buddy? All right. I have a final suspension appeal. All right, suspension appeal from DBA name change is the topic, by the way. It's a long one, by the way. There's 2 questions in one here. So I think this might be our last one for the day. All right, I have a final suspension appeal coming up for a client that changed their name with a DBA. I'm confident that the issue is that the signage did not exactly reflect the new DBA name change, so that has been ordered. But there are a few other things I'm worried about since it's a final appeal as well. You should be worried about it. We do a metric ton of reinstatements with steady demand, and I just hate it when somebody comes in and they've used both of the appeal and the re-review, because it's like, all right, come on. It was like, you just shot yourself in the foot. You got one more shot. And that's not a normal shot, by the way. So, never do the re-review if you can avoid it, if you're going to have somebody else look at it. All right. So let's see. Client changed the name with DBA, but did not update their website to mention the exact name. That's a problem.
Big problem.
They still go by the core name, Billy Bob's. Really? Billy Bob's Law? That would be freaking cool, actually. I hope somebody out there has that name. Billy Bob's Law on the site, and not Billy Bob's Law, criminal and DUI. Okay, DUI lawyers. Yeah, that's a problem too. They've also not changed. They have not updated the naming on LinkedIn and Facebook. That's another problem. So yes, all of those things are true. When you're going through a rebrand or trying to put keywords in your business name, change the keywords everywhere. Change the business name, update it on your website. I don't care. Business card, signage, you got it.
I would highly
Invoices.
recommend some sort of a spreadsheet to track that stuff, and do not go and submit these things unless and until, like you said, it's been done everywhere.
Right, exactly. And they, of course, also show is open as 24/7. Yeah, change that to like,
Yeah.
7 in the morning to like 12 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night, whatever. But yes, all of those things absolutely must be changed. Otherwise, well, you're just not going to get reinstated.
That's right.
All right. Let's see. Okay. There's Lewis's question again. Lewis, thank you. Verification still processing. We already answered that one. Okay. GBP response again. More suspension questions. All right. What is the average wait time for a human response/review from Google regarding the suspension of a perfect profile? And I say the word perfect because everybody tells me their profile is perfect. Oh God! Of course, it's been 40 days.
That's a bit of a wait.
That's not normal, Sarah. Let's see. Is Sarah even here? No, I don't see Sarah here. Okay. So usually that tells me that A, you're not looking in the right place. Go back to the appeals tool and check the status. Most likely it's just been denied, not approved, and you just didn't get the memo, basically. You didn't get the email on it. It should never take more than 40 days. It should never take, at this point, more than 5. I dare say 3, actually, because that's where it's at right now, 3 to 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not hearing back, you need to go and check the status at the very minimum. Start there. And then follow up with whoever has been basically managing that for you, if it is somebody else. Anyway, all right, cool. We are done. Actually, we've gone through every single question at this point.
Nice.
Yes. So anything you want to talk about? Anything else you want to talk about, David? If anybody else has any more questions, of course, please say so in chat. Paul, let me get you that help link really quick.
Yeah. I don't know that I do. I'm pretty heads down on the local Falcon stuff. I can say, for those of you who use it, I've always found one of our biggest sticking points, or one of the biggest things that cause churn at local Falcon is setting the account up with the wrong information, meaning you're scanning the wrong keywords, right? You're you're not setting the right radius or grid size, things like that. But the wrong keywords is a very common issue. And now with ChatGPT and AI overview scans, that's compounding upon itself. And so, we've always just basically given people the advice of like, well, just use a keyword research tool, then bring that over to local Falcon. And, it's frustrating. I don't love telling someone to leave and then come back. And so we have been working on a keyword tool at local Falcon for the last couple of weeks, and it is pretty cool. Like it's got certainly our data in there. But then on top of that, what we did was I wanted to have a local focus to the keyword tool. There's really not anything out there that's got a local focus. You can get that inside of SEMrush, but you have to have like an active project or something like that. So you're basically, you've got to go 10 layers deep in order to get any type of local keyword data. And, that was, to me, like that's table stakes for local Falcon. And so when we made it, we've got, like I said, our data, but we also are using some LLM calls in there. And we say like, wherever the location of that is, I want you to look up the population in that area. Give me a rough population estimate, and then look up a rough number of competitors in that area, in that metro as well. And so now we'll basically take the population plus the number of competitors and assign difficulty and volume scores that way. And then we've got basically a little formula that's using a weighted average and creating what we're calling, just giving you a singular score that we're calling a weighted yield number or a win score. And that will be, we'll show you all of that stuff, but it's a pretty decent way to find better keywords to scan, and it'll be free, totally free. And so, yeah, we're psyched about that. It should be coming up. Well, it's Friday, so I was hoping to say this week, but it is darn close. So it's, ideally next week. Yeah.
Right on. I almost have to wonder, with the data that you have, couldn't you do something as simple as this concept maybe, which is to basically state, maybe I'm a personal injury lawyer in San Diego. Okay, great. Fantastic. Hi, nice to meet you. So you go ahead, you go into Logo Falcon, and you start putting in your information, and you ask them for their category. Now, based on the GCID, the category, right? Now, based on that, you look through your entire database using an LLM, of course, that basically states, okay, well, we have, these 1,000 people in your same category already in our system.
Yep.
They are looking at these keywords to rank for. Some of them are winning, some of them are losing, who cares? But this is the keyword bucket. And we think that you should use these keywords in your scans based on what we see of all of these people all over San Diego.
Ben, I don't even you're like reading my mind, man. That's what I asked for when we wanted this built. And the response I got was like, sure, in 18 months, we can have that made for you, because it's a huge data set to go through. If you want things to come back, unless you want people to wait 15, 20 minutes every single time they do a search, I'm like, well, I could make them wait. He's like, no, I'm not. That's not happening. We're not doing that. Like, okay.
Interesting.
Fine. So
you're saying Claude couldn't do that with the data?
It totally could. It totally could. We just have, with 35 million businesses in there. And there's, basically a couple 100,000 scans every single day that happen. It's a lot to sift through. And so we tried it on a smaller sample set, and Claude and OpenAI both were just hallucinating the results. So I'm like, okay, well, we need to go back to the drawing board on this. Yeah, it was just totally BSing us. Like, only use this set. All right. And it was still just like, oh, sure. I did only use that set, and just giving us nonsense. So we said, okay, well, then we got to go back to the drawing board. So the version we're rolling out, it's pretty cool. It's definitely going to be effective. Certainly better than nothing, and totally free. But V2 theoretically will be that. So we got to get some usage on it and see what happens. But yeah, that's
nice.
True machine learning at work there is what not only that, Ben, to take it a step further would be prediction. All right. I'd like to be able to predict for you what we think is going to happen. And then, basically layer that on top of it.
That would be seismic, actually in difficulty level.
Yes, yeah, quite hard, but not impossible though. Like it's, we've got enough data there that it could be done. I'm not smart enough to make something like that, but some of our team is,
somebody is.
Yeah, the team could do it. We got some pretty good, PhD AI guys here that are pretty sharp. So they could do it. They just got to be given the time.
Nice. Well, there's 1 minute left. We have two questions. I'm just going to go ahead and knock them out. So the first one's from Mark Barras. Can you recommend a good hosting provider? Actually, yes, I can, Mark. Go check out rocket.net. This was built by a good buddy of mine. His name's Ben Gabler. He used to have a whole bunch of different hosting companies. And now he's built this one, super fast growing company. But Ben and his team are amazing when it comes to customer service. They really are. So yeah, check out rocket.net. And then Susan had one last question. Her question is, how can you tell if it's an email level suspension or account level suspension? And the answer is, Susan, they are exactly the same thing. An email is considered an account when it comes to Google.
Mhm.
So it is the exact same thing. Just go ahead, remove it, replace it. Most of the time that works, depending on a couple circumstances, but most of the time. And with that, David, thank you so much for coming onto the show.
Yeah,
Really
thanks for having me.
appreciate you and your time. And everybody else, thank you for coming and listening to us just talk about nonsense in the local SEO space and really focusing a lot on AI today. Have a fantastic weekend. Be safe. Have a great time. And we will see you back here in 2 weeks and with Mr. Greg Gifford. So again, thank you, David. Is there
Good
anything
stuff.
parting
You
parting
guys.
shots, parting things that you'd like to say before we go?
No, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Go check out, the AI scanner on your when you get a minute. It's totally worth looking at, seeing how your businesses are performing there.
Cool. Sweet. Thanks.
Good
All right.
stuff. Thanks,
Sounds
guys.
good. Catch you all on the flip side. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.